as soon as possible.
And I've got a couple kids traveling. I apologize.
That's no worries. I'm kind of straggling most days. So here we go. Oh, I have to turn my screen on so everybody can actually see. All right. Here we go. Oh, I was sharing. I just unfortunately did not turn on the big screen for these guys. All right, adaptations in the wide world of frogs. Today, we're going to continue to learn about some new frogs and some new things that they do. Learning targets. Today, we are going to focus on. Now, you also were going to think about yesterday's learning targets while you're working on your paragraphs, but I didn't want to overwhelm you with a bunch on a screen, okay? So today, the beginning today, we are working on using our strategies to determine the meaning of unfamiliar vocabulary. Today, there are questions on the test about some words that you may not know the meaning of. Okay, so you definitely need to make sure that you read carefully. Remember those questions we went over yesterday that were difficult? You've got to make sure that you are really reading the question carefully, read all the answers carefully. Today, our second one is I can describe the connections between sentences and paragraphs. You can't chat? All right, but I didn't let you in, so you must be a co-host. Let's see. No? All right, now you should be able to, my friend. All right. So we've been talking about connections. What one section has to do with another section. Cooper, what one sentence has to do with another sentence, right? Connections are when something links up, has some sort of relationship. So today, some of the questions are going to ask you, what does this section and this section have to do with each other? Okay. So just one more time, as we always do, we look really quickly at what close readers do. Now, I know you guys are like, oh, she does this every time. I've seen this. I have it properly memorized, except for some of you who still aren't doing it. Okay. So make sure that you're doing this as you read. So first of all, every time you read a section of today's frog book on these two new pages, they are new pages. Read the heading, read the section, and then stop. Don't read the next section yet. Think about, what was this about? Do like we do with the gist, except for do it in your head. Okay, what was this section about? Then go to the next section and then read it and do the same. Do just like we would do together, but you're going to have to do it independently. Then think about, is there a word in there I don't know? If there is, then you have to look at how can I figure out what that word means. It's much easier if you do that in the text than waiting until you get the question on the test, right? Because if you figure out what it means in the text already, then when you get to that question, it's going to be far easier to know what that word means, all right? So remember to look at the words around it. Think about what it's referring to. Look at the affixes. Does it have a prefix or a suffix? What's that root word? What does that root word mean to you on its own? And then help it figure out. Today, they are going to give you a root. They are going to say this word part is a root. What does it mean? You are going to have to figure that out based on looking at what other words you've seen, okay? So really carefully look, where did I see that root before? What does that root maybe mean in this other situation? Does it mean the same thing now? Mr. Sawyer, we're not having pencils out right now. Thank you. You are not allowed to use a dictionary today, I'm afraid. So sorry about that. That is not one of your options. Today, when you read a question, go back to the text, go back to your frog book, find the answer, point to it, just like you normally would, right? When Mrs. Harrison says, point to where you found that answer. So point to that answer, think, okay, and look at all the answers carefully. Yesterday, we went through all the answers, and some of you we saw, they were tricky questions, and they actually sometimes try to make sure that the answers are close so that you have to read it carefully to determine which one is the right one. Okay, so thinking about that for sure today. Today, we have a lot of stuff to do. That's why I'm talking really fast, because I want you to do a really good job on the test. I don't want you to rush on that, but I do know that a lot of you need to work on your paragraphs as well. So we're going to persevere. We know that something might be difficult. We're still going to try. We're going to do our best on it. And we are, if you have a question, raise your hand. I can try to help you. I can't necessarily answer your question if it's, if it affects the test, but feel free to ask. Take a couple deep breaths, do whatever you need to do to refocus yourself, okay? And when we get to where some people are done with the test and some people are working on their paragraph, that's going to be hard because twice as many people are going to want my help, right? And for here, there's only going to be me and Mrs. And on remote, it's only going to be Mrs. Aubin. So you might have to be patient. See what you can do if you're trying to wait. All right. Okay. So you're going to have 3 pages. Well, it's a front and back. For my friends at remote, it's going to be on a Google form. You are going to read on pages 46 through 47. So everybody open up your frog book. Everything you need to know about frogs and other slippery creatures, and turn to page 46 and 47. These are the pages you're going to be reading alone and answering the questions from. Mrs. Aubin, if you look at my colored folders that are on my desk there, do you see the one that says Friday? It's got the test in it. Would you be willing to pass those out for me? You are awesome. All right. Oh, we're not talking. We're just turning to page 46 to 47. Page 46 to 47. My friends at home, do you give me a thumbs up when you have your page 46? Thank you, Leo. Miss Isabella, do you have page 46 and 47 for me? Awesome. Perfect. Miss Astria, did you find those pages for me? Ben, you've got them? Okay, look inside your desk, look inside maybe it's in your book bin. I see several people whose book bins were never picked up this morning. Kevin, do you have the right pages? 46 and 47. Thank you. Miss Haley, how's it going? Did you find your pages? Okay, good. Logan, I'm gonna hope that you found them. All right, so on page 46 and 47, you are going to read carefully. Remember, you're gonna read for the gist. You're gonna read each section carefully. Do not answer the questions until you are completely done reading. Then you're gonna go back to the text, read the questions, go back to the text because they tell you where to find your answers. My friends at home, I'm gonna go ahead and get out of here. You're gonna go to our today's assignment here. And if you look right here, it says Google form, right? Give me a nod if you're, okay, there you go, thank you. When you click on that, it looks like this. All right, it says end of unit 2 assessment part 1. We're gonna do part 2 on Monday. And then here are all your questions. There's one fill in an answer down here there's one question that has 2 sections and you guys have it too. So it's on the bottom of the second page. Let's just read what the question asks because I want you to see that there's more than, you can't just write one word or one part. So the question says, what do you think the author means by this and why do you think so? How many questions are there that I just read? 2. I just read 2 questions. How many answers do you think I need? 2. Again, it says, what do you think the author means by this? You're going to write what you think the author means. And then you're going to say, why do you think that? What was it about that made you come up with that answer? So there's 2 answers to get all the points. All right. So my friends here, you're going to type in your answer. My friends that are in the room, you're going to write on those lines. 2 answers. Yes, Mr. Noah. You will. It's not, that should not be an issue. Yeah. In fact, you should have time left over to work on your paragraph because I'm going to stop talking like super quick here in a minute. All right. So does everybody at home see where you're going to find that? I mean, you're going to stay on Zoom with Mrs. Aubin. She's also going to help you with your paragraphs when you finish. All right. So no rushing off at all. All right. Before you get started, just because I'm not going to regather you together again because I want everybody to focus. When you are doing your paragraph, if you think you're done, you probably haven't done the checklist yet. So I will help you with finding the checklist. If you're here, Mrs. Aubin can help you find it in your workbook there, but we have to make sure that you do your checklist. You need to make sure that you have your linking words. Ben, we're not reading yet. Thank you. We have linking words and phrases. You need to make sure you add those. You also need to make sure that you have included at the bottom your sources. All right? The sources need to be at the bottom of your paragraph. You also need to share it with your teacher. And if you're a remote friend, you can share it with either Mrs. Aubin or with me or both of us. All right? But I haven't gotten them yet. All right?
I might have to look at them today.
So, right. So if you share it with Mrs. Aubin, then you won't have to necessarily share your screen. So that's probably a good idea. If you share it with Mrs. Aubin, she can click on it. But either way is fine. Yes. All right. So are there any questions before we get started? Oh, yes, domestic. I will help you. I'll help you get started. No worries.
So they're not writing the paragraph today.
No, that's Monday. That's a whole ball of wax we don't have time for yet.
Okay.
All right. So we're all feeling good about it? Okay. Open, well, relatively.
Yeah.
Open page 46 to 47. Everybody got that out already? Should be, and start reading and get started. And my remote friends, Mrs. Aubin is gonna help you guys, so you guys stick around, and I'm gonna turn off my sound. Hold on just a second, sweetie. Just give me one more minute, sweetie. That's what I need.
Let me know if you guys
Are
have
you writing?
questions.
We're writing on Google Docs.
Okay, I'm going to share my screen. I'll show you, Haley. It's in our assignment today when you get to Google Classroom. Right? Are you watching?
Yeah.
Okay, here's February. It's under week of February 1st through the 5th. Okay, so it would be EL M2U2 lesson 12A end of unit assessment. Okay, so it's a Google form. You're going to.
Okay. I see it.
Yeah, okay. Looks like someone turned it in already.